to test my understanding, and please listen carefully. And I will pick up on what the chair said, and I do so quite mindful of the fact that the chair did qualify his comment to say it's early days, with reference to quote unquote and non-complaint. So I want to inquire from the witness the nature of the actual complaint insofar as what we've been discussing is concerned. We know that Mr. Adams' complaint, or non-complaint, however it can be defined, triggered 2 separate investigative processes into the conduct of the police. Is that your case? That is correct. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that?
Commissioner, when you, as we investigate, as I said before, that we get an evidence of something and we try and connect this with something else, and we start seeing a different picture. Mr. Adam, despite the fact that he leveled these complaints against these individuals at crime intelligence on the 29th and the 31st of October, respectively, in 2 different police stations, 2 different provinces. The following day, then he sends a complaint to the minister. The outcome of that complaint seems to not resolve or address what they want to achieve, or what he wants to achieve. In that, the National Commissioner's Office, the Inspectorate in the police, through the National Commissioner's Office, is asking for additional, number of days, which is another 10 days. The minister receives this, and he acknowledged this on the 8th of November. 2 days later, Mr. Adams sends another email, now with a different content, same complaint, but now he believes this time around he is talking to what the National Commission has done, but yet he has not been able to engage with the Inspectorate. So I don't know how is he privy to the National Commission's report that is directed to the minister. But he seems to address, now he is including the National Commission now, that the National Commission himself is wrong with regard to how he's handling the vetting issue of Khumalo and so forth. And this email, he sends it to the minister on the 10th. That is 2 days later after the minister signs the acknowledgement of the extension of 10 days. He sends another email on the 10th to the minister. He's now asking the minister to refer this to a different body to investigate. So that's how I think what then triggers the invitation of IDEC, or the justification of saying, Mr. Adams, your complaint is unfounded for now, but in order not to wait, send me something else, or making allegations on this, so that we can move this thing outside the police. So that's the only conclusion that one can draw from looking at the pattern, that the Inspectorate is trying to engage you, you are not availing yourself, they produce a report, the minister receives it on the 8th, on the 10th, you are now sending an email talking about almost the same report that you did not participate on. You are now blaming the National Commission because this report comes from the National Commission. And we are now requesting that another body be invited to take over these dockets. That's what we see as a behavior that Adams is doing, and also the office of the minister. Commissioners, maybe if I also take you back a bit, my apologies that when Inspectorate conducted this investigation, General Jacobs, besides having the expertise within Inspectorate to be able to read the case dockets, because they are detectives themselves within, they are qualified, but he refers this complaint to legal services of the South African Police Service in order to get their opinion from an independent body that is legal services, who are people that are admitted advocates that are sitting in that division. The Inspectorate wrote back to legal services, I beg your pardon, wrote back to Inspectorate on the same complaint, and you'll see it on the Annexure 293.
Page 293.
On page 293, I beg your pardon. on same Annexure 15.
Yes.
This is the letter from Inspectorate that is written, from Legal Services, that is signed by Lieutenant General Thamane, who's a Divisional Commissioner of Legal Services. And if you look at the last page, 296, on different paragraphs, maybe I'll just read one on record. Paragraph 9 says, as indicated above, this is the response of Legal Services to having studied the dockets. And they are responding to Inspectorate, giving advice, legal advice to Inspectorate with regard to this complaint. They are saying, as indicated above, at the complainant statements, all the complainant statements consist of hearsay evidence, which is unadmissible in court. The identity of witnesses who may have personal knowledge of the allegations are also not mentioned in the statement. This information is critical to ensure a proper investigation. There's just one quotation of what the Legal Services is saying.
And perhaps you might want then, on that vein, to continue to point 11.
2.11 reads, Commissioners, whilst the allegations made by the complainant are serious in nature, they are unsubstantiated at this stage. The complainant's statement can be described as vague in accusation rather than account of factual details that fall within the complainant's personal knowledge. So this is what I thought, let me just reflect on, that Inspectorate, in reaching the conclusion on their letter to say there's no basis, there's no element of crime on this complaint that warrants even the registration of the docket, but nonetheless, the dockets were registered. So coming back into this, Commissioner, what I want to also draw attention is that in my statement on page 58, number 17174.3 on my statement.
Paragraph 174.3, right?
Yes.
Yes.
On this page, I'm just indicating the complaints that Mr. Adams have put on his statement when he registered these dockets. And one of those complaints that I want to draw the attention of the commissioners on is 17.3, which reads, the third case concerned the appointment of Ms. Mukwele as head of the technical support service at Crime Intelligence. This is an individual that was appointed at Crime Intelligence, which formed the basis of one of the cases registered both in Cape Town and in Orlando. I must indicate, Commissioners, that of all the complaints that were presented on all these dockets given to IDEC, the only arrest of that entire team is based on this Ms. Mukwele that was appointed from BMW coming to Crime Intelligence. It is based on that. It is not about this case of Adams, but it is about a new case that was later registered. The complainant, the very same Mr. Adams, on a different statements that he now deposited to IDEC in January of 2025, not part to these ones of October. Same facts on this, and these dockets are with IDEC, but the arrest is effected on a new complaint by Mr. Adams, now specifically to this person. So it is why we are saying this is a strategy employed to make sure, Special Commissioner Khumalo, that, as I keep on referencing, there's one central figure here, or there's one problem that needs to be fixed. And this problem is to stop the investigation of this drug cartel. And that is in Gauteng province. And the common person in this thing, it's Khumalo in the center.
My question has been answered now.
It has been
That's
answered.
really what I wanted to get to.
Then we will come back to that. You had the witness speak to new information, new affidavit. Those relate to the matters that are dealt with at page 96, when we specifically deal with what is termed the General Khumalo case.
Can I
Yes,
can I just confirm? General, you say 174.3 is the basis on which General Khumalo was arrested. Is it the only charge that he's facing presently? I mean, it's matter of public knowledge that there are criminal proceedings. Is that the only charge?
Commissioner-
Before he answers, General, if I may, because I fear the witness might misunderstand as to, is it the only charge? Because the charge sheet may contain a number of charges. I understand the commissioner to want to know whether the charges for which, the charges leveled against him arise from that one incident.
Yes.
As
Yes,
opposed to it there being only one charge.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, and I just need a yes or no answer. You don't have to give me detail of what it is.
The answer is yes. This forms the basis of the arrest of General Khumalo and the team at Crime Intelligence by IDEC, if I may qualify.
Thank you, Mr.
thank you, General. Okay, now to find my place again. General, I think that in large part has dealt with your complaint as regards the conduct of Mr. Adams. You, beyond that, then move to another issue from paragraph 186, and this relates to what you say is the conduct of Ms. Kohler Barnard as a member of parliament. And you have attached, or you have reproduced a start of a statement. In dealing with that particular complaint, please have regard to the question that the chair had posed at the beginning of your evidence about Mr. Adams, or no, I think it was Commissioner Baloyi, which is the relevance of this evidence, this complaint, to the terms of reference. So you deal with your complaint regarding Ms. Barnard, but please try and locate it to the extent that you can in its proper context.
Not that I'm claiming credit, I raised that question.
Oh, I do, the chair definitely raised it. Yes. If you are able to, if you are not, and you explain it away as part of the pattern that you reference, then we will deal with it in due course.
Actually, in my marginal comments on my statement, I have the same question in respect of this MP as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think I've preempted the chairperson's question, asking the same question twice. So, yes, it's in that context that I would like you to summarize what your complaint is and how you suggest that it is relevant to the Commission's terms of reference.
Commissioners, Ms. Kohler Barnard is a long-serving member of Parliament. Maybe you might, beg your pardon, Ms. Kohler Barnard, maybe you might excuse to some degree, not that I agree with it, Mr. Adams, of being new in that Parliament. But Ms. Kohler Barnard is a veteran in Parliament as a lawmaker who ought to understand what belongs where in Parliament. And I can confirm, Commissioners, that she is appointed by her own political party, which is a Democratic Alliance, to be a member of both the Portfolio Committee on Police that deals with the open account, as well as being a member of the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence, which deals with the covert farms. So she's better positioned to call the department to come and account at the right platform. But we have seen, and I said when I started, I'm going to throw one example of each. I'm not going to go into details with many. There are many examples. But she's one of the leaders in our legislature that is participating in both breaking the law as well as fueling these malicious attacks that are happening within crime intelligence and ultimately directed at Khumalo as the head of that intelligence. I said she is a member of Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. So what I put here on, as an example, on page 61, under paragraph 186, is a statement that she released in her capacity as a member of the Democratic Alliance, which I'm going to quote these two paragraphs, Commissioners, on record. The Democratic Alliance is calling for an immediate and thorough investigation into the recent purchase of a multi-million rand commercial property by the Crime Intelligence Division of the South African Police Service in Bria in Durban. The second paragraph, this purchase, approved by high-ranking officials within Crime Intelligence, raises serious concern due to the vast amount of taxpayers' money involved, especially as it follows a previous highly questionable property acquisition in Pretoria to the tune of 22.7 million rand, a matter that the Inspector General of Intelligence confirmed is now being investigated. The full statement is available on internet. You can go and throw it. It comes from Ms. Barnard. Now, she's introducing an Inspector General. We know, and we're going to demonstrate that later, that the intelligence community, they operate separately from a normal account. There are three entities established in the country. One is within defense. Another one is state security. The third one is crime intelligence. And both of them are supervised by the Inspector General of Intelligence. That is the only individual that has got access to all the classified and the work that they do at crime intelligence. And whatever reports this Inspector General of Intelligence discover must communicate with the Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. Later in our presentation, Commissioners, I will demonstrate in some of the incidents that happen at crime intelligence that involve the Office of the Inspector General of Intelligence being used by politicians, which I had an experience on as I read my portfolio, my profile, the experience I had when I was the acting National Commissioner at the time. We will indicate that because in trying to address the issues at crime intelligence and the political involvement, back in 2011, I deposited an affidavit at the Zondo Commission. That affidavit is available. Unfortunately, I was never invited to come and testify at the Zondo Commission. So the patterns that were there, the modus operandi of how they are dealing with things at crime intelligence, back then, it still exists today. So what we see here is a person who has a legal obligation to keep the mouth shut and go to the Joint Standing Committee and present and ventilate on this and hold the divisional commission accountable. But she does not use that platform. She goes publicly and discloses this. The risk of this, Commissioners, is that it forces the members that are within crime intelligence in the public space to defend themselves by divulging all the secrets of the states that they are aware of, the irregularities within crime intelligence that ranges from the police to the political parties, which the members are not supposed to, according to their vetting and their classification of that information. The platform they have to vent that is within the Inspector General of Intelligence and Parliament, Joint Standing Committee of Intelligence. So that's why a provincial commissioner like myself, General Mkhwanazi, I'm not invited to the Joint Standing Committee because I've got no business with that budget. It is the Divisional Commission of Crime Intelligence that has an access to the Joint Standing Committee to go and account because he's the one that is classified to be there and deal with the matter. So we demonstrate here that the Ms. Barnard have acted. And the Inspector General of Intelligence, we have evidence of that he's part of the instrument of investigating the things or counter-investigation of the things that the team are doing within intelligence. So that's what I thought maybe I must bring forward without going more into details. As I said earlier, these are some of the things that General Khumalo is going to come here and is going to elaborate more of what actually is contained on this Gauteng counterintelligence investigation, who is involved, and how the counter, what is the role that the Inspector General of Intelligence is playing in trying to frustrate this project. And we know in public, it's public knowledge, that the very same Inspector General of Intelligence have signed MOUs with entities outside that intelligence structure.
Okay.
One of them is IPIT, which is within the police, as an example. So, but we'll demonstrate that, commissioners, because what we're trying to show here and tell the South Africans is that the whole intention is to stop the investigation of this cartel and the operations of this cartel. And all the efforts that we are seeing as we are presenting this today is that there is a concerted effort of making sure that Khumalo and whoever he works with are frustrated in making this to end in court. And different approaches are being applied, as we're going to be demonstrating as we are continuing with this testimony today.
So you are suggesting for the moment that that issue be flagged, the complaint regarding that particular MP be flagged, and that General Khumalo will testify more as regards the issue you highlight here. Is that your testimony?
That's exactly simple, because there's a secret fund account mentioned here, there's Inspector General of Intelligence mentioned here. That is not much of my space, so that's why Khumalo will come and testify on this in details, commissioners.
Thank you, General.